There you go.
Thank you.
I started very, very young. Maybe as far as I can remember, 4, 5 years old. And then my father used to take me to the academy where he trained, which was the first Gracie Academy, well, not the first, but the main Gracie Academy in the Rio de Janeiro city center. Then we moved to America. He used to train with me in parks, in our house. Then when I came back, then I started in the gym again. I think it's fooling around with my father. No, sitting on the mat, those green mats made out of, and the mats made of short. And I remember the smell of that. It's a very unique smell. It's not a bad smell or anything like that. It's just the smell of the gyms in the old days. They had that.
Mats made of straw?
They were made of straw, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Things like that. It was good. It was very, very good.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a tatami, the proper tatami. They were made of straw. They were very, very focused in self-defense. Obviously, there was a balance between both. And back in the day, I think the mentality was to make us tough, you know. Yeah, it could be scary sometimes for the kids, but we endured it, and it only made us stronger. Always. You could have. It's like you could have left the academy one day a bit upset, a bit teary because things didn't go your way, or you didn't jump the way you had to, or something like that. But in the end of the day, it all added up to a well-being in the end. It was I loved it. Oh, sometimes he would line us all up. We had to fall into base with our hands like that. And the guy was a massive human with big arms. Not a scary guy because he was a very good teacher. But, you know, he would try to, obviously not a slap, but like a touch to the face, and you would have to be ready, or to do the front row, he would put like a belt on the floor, and you have to run, stop on that belt, and give a big jump and do the front row, or do a big jump and do the front break fall. It was cool, and we all there was a competition in the class who would jump further away, or who made the loudest noise. Making the noise was a good thing. In my country, jiu-jitsu was it was 2 main sports, or 3. You would either swim, because you live in a tropical country, you need to know how to swim. You would play football or do jiu-jitsu. And everybody has passed through a jiu-jitsu academy. Nearly everybody. Back then, everybody. They trained in some moment of their life. They trained. You knew somebody that trained. It was very popular, you know. It was popular. It was a popular sport. Still is.
So I believe when you were 6, your father changed jobs and you moved to New York.
No, it was the same job. It was for the same. It's like he worked for Ministry of Finance, He was an employee of that organ. In Portuguese we say organ. You wouldn't say that in English. Organization, or it's part of the government really. So he was transferred to New York, and we lived there for nearly 5, 6 years, something like that. So I went to school there.
Did you train over there?
No, I trained with my father. He used to put the gi on. I remember him putting the gi and bringing me, putting something on the grass so he can roll around a bit. So, yeah, he loved it.
That's a nice memory to have.
He loved it. I remember that. I really do. In the park, we used to go to the park on Sundays for picnic, and he used to lie on like a blanket or a big sheet, and he would put the gi on, and he would roll with me, and I remember that.
Was he tough on you, or did he go easy on you?
No, he went easy. Yeah. No, he was not like me.
It was a fun role.
It was a fun role.
Did he train jiu-jitsu in New York at that time? Were there any academies actually operating?
No, I think he worked so much that, he worked all day. No. And I don't think there was. He took me once to Madison Square Garden. I was a small kid, and I remember, to a karate demonstration, and I loved it, It was a martial art thing. He loved martial art. He loved fighting. He used to, in the beginning, he used to tell me all of the stories of the fights that he's seen with Rolls Gracie. João Alberto Barreto was his teacher, and Carson, and he's seen those fights. So he lived that time from the very beginning of the Gracies in the first generation. Gracie's in Rio, yeah. And I
stories.
Oh, I just love to hear, the stadium filling up and people shouting and the fight going on for ages, and good fights, bad fights, what have you. Yeah, so just one of those things. It could have meant nothing. It could have just been stories, but it just sank in, and I just loved it. I love to hear it. I want to be a part of it. Since I think training just became so natural for me. I liked them so much since right from the get-go.
When did you go back to Brazil?
Oh, I was about 12 or something.
And did you begin training again?
Oh, straight away. There was an academy on my street where we lived in Leblon. It was with this teacher, Bernard. He was from the south of Brazil. He had an accent. And the people from the south, they drink a very hot tea with an open cup, and they keep on pouring. It's very strong, very bitter, and it has a straw. And they keep on pouring hot water in it. It's and I remember I used to pass by I left my building to the left. The beach was right there, and he was always, in the afternoons where there was no classes, he was always on the window, and I'll never forget that, because he had massive arms on the window drinking his tea. We used to pass by and say, I remember. He knew everybody out of that passed by. It was real nice. So I could walk to the academy and back. Mm-hmm. So that was so easy going. And then when I became a teenager, then that academy, he moved places, and then I started training with João Alberto Barreto, which was my father's instructor when he trained at the Gracie Academy.
So you trained in the adult classes as a teenager?
Yeah.
With your father?
No, he only trained Saturdays.
Ah, I see.
I used to go there on my own, get my bus, mm-hmm. on weekdays, but every Saturday morning it was his thing.
Yeah.
We would wake up and we would go to gym. He would talk to Jean-Bert. We would go out together, have a coffee or what have you, and then go home.
What belt did your father get to?
He died. He was a brown belt when he died.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it gave you a special connection with him?
With me and him?
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to go watch my competition.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I was doing jiu-jitsu for him, yeah. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is always there. Everything else in your life changes, except jiu-jitsu. So I kept on doing jiu-jitsu. Went to the university, but still jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
Well, started to work, but still doing jiu-jitsu. So it's not like you don't how do you maintain the rest of your life doing jiu-jitsu? Research. I think I was 20 years old, something like that.
Do you remember the first time you saw him?
I've seen him on the beach. I've seen him on the street. But what the real impact, when there was this fight between jiu-jitsu guys and the surfers. And they were in the corner of my house in a place called Apuador in Ipanema. And the fight was there. And said, that's it. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's me. But I couldn't change academies because, Roberto, but he was about to close his gym because he became a sports therapist for footballers. So when he closed, I think in 76 or something. Yeah, the numbers start to mix. So, but something like that. Then I immediately went to Halls the next day. My friends of mine that I convinced to start doing jiu-jitsu, I was already telling them to join, go to Halls. I'll be there in a short while, and yeah, that was it.
Going back to watching Halls fight on the street, we had a conversation recently where you were describing to me what a jiu-jitsu street fight would look like. And it's like nothing that we would envisage today on the street. Can you talk a little bit more about that? About how the fight would start?
Well, when you saw that bunch of guys coming, that there was going to be a fight. It was just it starts like any other fight. They pretend to punch, or the punches exchange, then clinch, and then that's it. Or you go straight for the clinch, because some of the guys think they knew jiu-jitsu and obviously didn't. But yeah, but I find it a bit different. There was no disloyalty. People fought. It was a one-on-one fight. There was not, like you see today, more than one jumping on the other and kicking the person on the floor. I think they were more like, I have a problem with you, we're gonna fight, that our fight is finished, well, we'll reconvene somewhere else, or our problem is done,
An honourable way of fighting.
Yeah, I think so. It can be violent, obviously, nonetheless, but you wouldn't see, a fight between two of these guys and disloyalty from somebody of the other team doing a kick. First, the teams wouldn't let, but people would have that, it's their fight. They gotta do it, whatever the outcome is. That'll settle it.
So when you started training with Halls, you were a white belt still, right?
Yeah.
Around about the age of 20?
Yeah.
What happened for you then, the change in academy?
I think I was 21.
What was it like for you to change academy at that age?
Oh, I was really looking forward to it because the academy where I was didn't have that many guys to train with, So it was a change in a lot more training. They were excellent fighters, and I didn't do badly because I had a very solid base. At first, I've been training in and out my whole life, so I kind of knew what I was doing. And I was a pretty good level white belt because Halls gave me my blue belt the second day that I was in the gym. He said, you can buy a belt and start using it tomorrow. So I had to find a shop that sold the blue belt. And the next day I was using my shiny new belt. And 1 week later, I fought a competition and I was state champion.
Nice.
So that was my entry in Hall's Academy, which, you know, it's a good...
So you made an impact.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but said, yeah, you're well accepted, you know. You're not totally green, like you used to say. I had some baggage with me, good and Halls. Man, he said, I'm going to change your game, and he did. And,
how did he change your game?
Oh, instruction-wise, and I was very defensive. He made me more aggressive, and just amazing instruction, that's all. And, you know, it's not only what the techniques that you learn, it's lifelong friendship. Just like my classes today.
So
you have the warm-up, you have the self-defense, you have the takedowns, and then you have the floor. Always like that.
And on the floor, per lesson, would it be one particular position?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, we were all very new back then, so yeah, we would do that position, we would practice it a lot, and yeah, and then train. You could train, and even if the lesson finishes, you could keep on training. It was we split the gym with a Qasim, so Halls had the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The gym on top, the main mat, which was the big one, and there were two and a little one. Nearly 3 mats on the first floor, and whoever wasn't using the mats upstairs would use those ones on the opposite day. So Qasim had the mat upstairs Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and then we were downstairs on these days. So you could train pretty much every day, but the main classes otherwise there were too many people. Would have been daytime, Monday and night. But the whole day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The building is still there. The Rolls Gracie Academy is still in the building till this day.
And you developed a friendship with Halls.
Oh yeah, very strong.
So what was the reputation of the Gracies at that time? Because for me as an English person, you know, the way you describe it to me and the way that I see it in Brazil is they're like the royal family. Back then, was it still that level, or was it building?
No, it always was. It's like being in a royal family. It's special. It's a special, you know, they had all so it was such a big family with so many people, you know, so of all ages, all sizes, and everybody into fighting and teaching and training, and you had the Gracie diet, which everybody wanted to learn, and then I started dating Hall's sister, so. And then we ended up marrying, having 2 kids, and basically we become one of the family, really, at that time. And yeah, it was wonderful. Used to go to Teresópolis city in the mountains where they have the house. Or even Rolls used to take us to Eddie Gracie's house in Itapava. We used to train there too. Yeah. And we used to make, oh yeah, hardly any people knew what acai was back then, and we used to have acai bowls in our house when we finished training. But you had to, you broke infinite numbers of blenders because it was a solid rock of ice that you had to put in, but you had to leave it out. We never had the patience to put it out before we went training, so you got to cut it off like with an ice pick, put it on the blender with coconut water or apple juice, and we used to peel dates to put inside to sweeten it up and eat it with tapioca. Oh my God, my mouth is watering. They were in my guard all the time. In my guard, neon belly, or swept. I bothered them a lot, like I do with all of them. Mm-hmm. All of them, non-stop, all day long, every day.
And you have tough kids now.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Particularly your son Roger and everything that he's achieved. What made the difference? What was the difference within him? Why do you think it was that he took it as far as he did?
I think the main reason is because he wanted to. You don't achieve anything without really wanting to. And he told us once, I'm going to be the best fighter in the world. And he was only a blue belt. And he did it.
Was he always passionate? Did it ever?
No. He used to complain to my friends that I used to make him go to the academy. He didn't want to go at all. But like we say, get your black belt, and then you decide what you want to do with your life. But yeah, it could have gone the other way, don't get me wrong. He could have not liked that at all. But he did. Thank God he did, because he's natural. And it didn't become, I don't think it was in the beginning. It became when he was mid-teens, whatever. But being a Gracie is always, you always have the challenge of, you have your cousins, uncles, everybody saying, are you training? Why not training? Let's train, let's do this, let's do that. So you're kind of always involved in, looking after yourself. And he always ate very well because his mother was very strict with their diet. So, and yeah, I think that, and all of a sudden he started to train. That he trained since he was born, at least with me. It's very difficult to give that kind of advice. Every journey is very particular. It's very on its own. Every person is on its own. The only thing that I can say is that, sometimes if you try too hard, it gets them the other way. You can't actually make anybody do anything anyway. You can feed, have a look at this, have a look at that, let's give it a try, make it fun. But there's always, because no matter what, it's a fight between, it's a quarrel between two persons. One has to win, one has to lose. Mm-hmm. So you have to learn to win, because you're not going to win always. And when you lose, that goes down the drain. And you got to learn to lose. Mm-hmm. To keep your motivation. Oh, I lost today, but I'll be better tomorrow. because not every day is a sunny day.
Mm-hmm.
There's rainy days, there's windy days, right? Which is the same thing. Like anything in life. You just have to persevere. But to get things interested, to make him interested, you have to give him the support in terms of knowledge. And support, he failed one day, you can't start yelling at, no. It's a normal thing not to win.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be seen like that.
Mm-hmm. For adults, I think, in this country particularly, we've got something called the trenches, where you carry on training jiu-jitsu, but you feel like you're consistently being beaten and you're not progressing as well. Was there a time in your life that you ever felt like that?
A lot of times. You, certain periods of your journey, you feel that, oh my God, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not learning anything. I keep doing this, making mistakes, and I think it's impossible that everybody goes through that. The runners don't have that thing that they hit the wall, right? Mm. I think everybody hits a wall, and you gotta find your way around it. Go around, dig a hole, go over it, mm-hmm. open it up, find a way to get through, and that's when sometimes you get the support you need from your instructor, from your training partners, or from your family, mm-hmm. Or from yourself. Mm-hmm. You want to reach a goal. You set a goal, and I'm not young. I'm in a certain age, but I still have a goal. Mm-hmm. I want to get my red belt, and I want to be well to get it. I still got 9 years to go, and I'm sure that I'll be alive and kicking in Vegas when they give me my red belt, and that will make my journey, my jiu-jitsu journey, almost complete.
Mm. So do you think that part of jiu-jitsu is the learning to have a positive mindset, even in the difficult situations?
Yeah, like anything in life. You're going to go through difficult situations. It's going to hurt, but you got to keep on going. You just got to keep on going. And for the people, for the persons that, for the young ones, they got to go through all that and learn. For those who are starting it a little bit later in life, don't get overexcited. It's a very close contact sport. Protect your body, learn to listen to it. If you're injured, address it. If you want to, take your time. Mm. Enjoy your journey. Yeah. It's a nice one. It takes a while. Mm-hmm. It does. The road is long. It's not, I know how to do an armbar. Good for you. Good for you. But that armbar is only going to get perfect in I don't even know how long. Mm-hmm. And even then, it doesn't get 100%. But anyway, it's a long journey. Enjoy. Have fun. I have fun every day. First of all, listen to your body and know that your joints weren't made for certain moves. Do regular exercises to protect your joints. Basically, all the main advice you give to anybody: try to have a good diet.
You try to letting positions go.
Try to train wisely, and train wisely means, sometimes you're stuck somewhere, and you're twisting and turning your body for dear life. Man, let go. Let it flow more. I know, don't let your ego get in the way. they called me. It was a Sunday. I was supposed to go with him that weekend, but I didn't. And Sunday morning, somebody called me, asking me to go there, but they didn't tell me he passed. So, yeah, when I got there, they asked me to bring 2 family members. I took Silcardos, his father, and his brother Hobson, Henzudad. The 3 of us drove down. And only when we got there, they should have told us. Why didn't they tell us? I don't know.
Did they tell you that he'd been in an accident?
Yeah. But anyway, that was it. Then I brought Halizim and Igor were there. I put them in my car and I drove them back to their grandmother's house. Yeah.
A defining moment in your life, because not only have you lost your instructor, but you've lost your brother-in-law and your friend.
Yeah. There were a lot of people, you know. He was a remarkable human, and everybody that had contact with him, that knew him, even remotely, really loved the guy. He was, yeah. But I believe that guys like that, they complete their mission here early on earth and they need to move on. The only ones that suffer are the ones that stay.
And some of his students, they never trained again.
Oh yeah, you had all types. Some never trained again, some, and then people went to different academies, mostly because of where it was closer to your house or where you knew somebody.
What did you do?
I continued training. Yeah, we continued with the academy in the same place for a little bit longer, but it didn't work out. And Chronicles was the one that took over, but he wanted to move to Barra da Tijuca, I think. It's because they already wanted to split the academy. Casa wanted to keep the building. We were going to move anyway. Chronicles ended up moved to Barra da Tijuca, was a place in Rio. And then he founded the Gracie Barra, which is worldwide today. And yeah, and Barra became too far away from me. It used to take me hours to get there and back, because I lived in Copacabana, which is where our gym was. So I kept floating around, trained here, trained there.
And not many people know that you actually had a career as well, because so many people associate you only with jiu-jitsu.
No, at this time, yeah, jiu-jitsu, I nearly quit or not quit. What am I going to do? So, yeah, I had 2 kids. I had to get a job. So, yeah, I had to start working. I worked real estate. Then I got a job in the government, which I stayed most of my life.
And what did you do for the government?
Oh, I used to work at the state congress, just a civil worker. Nothing major. I was, because of my English, helped me with everything in life, because I had very good English. So I worked in different departments. There was one time I was translated to the Dalai Lama, which was an interesting experience. Hip movement.
Hip movement.
Loosen up your hips. I would have not stopped working with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have stopped.
But
the trauma was too great.
Yeah. Well, after losing holes.
Yeah. My life would have been totally different. That's going to depend on the instructor that you have. But if I knew anything about jiu-jitsu, I would try to go to a gym where they focus on the basics and then go from there. No, I don't really understand old jiu-jitsu and modern jiu-jitsu. For me, it's pretty much the same. Some parts developed and others not. But jiu-jitsu has always been like that. Sometimes there's something that comes up, oh, that's a good thing, and doesn't last that long, comes back. Then another something come up. Then, you know, it will always be like that anyway. But, yeah, I think that all of these, anything that you can introduce to martial art is valid, except ways of stalling. That's all. Don't give up. Keep on going.
Because that's what you did, right?
Yep. I would have stuck to jiu-jitsu my entire life. I wouldn't have worked or done anything else. That's the only thing. But I couldn't. I had responsibilities with my kids. And it was very, very, very difficult at the time.
In that situation, is there anything that you would, if you had the ability to talk to yourself, that you would have said, you know, you've got to do this, but how to make it easier for yourself?
Difficult, because you know, you have responsibilities, you have bills to pay, and it wasn't easy to make a living with that. Things only became easier when, you know, jiu-jitsu got more and more popular over the 80s, and then came the 90s that the UFC happened, and then jiu-jitsu happened all over the world. So maybe if I stuck a little bit longer there, my life would have changed, but it wasn't meant to be. I always had passion for jiu-jitsu. Even when I always found a way to make jiu-jitsu work. There was one point in my job that I was working in the transport department, and I used to work with heavily impaired people. What did I do? I opened up a class for them. There were guys in wheelchairs and all sorts. I used to help them all. That was interesting. I always found a way.
Found a way to help them
to help
progress.
Yeah. Interesting.
So currently you're
or helping people or teaching security always. There was always, jiu-jitsu was always nearby. And I never stopped training, ever. You might sometimes periods in your life where there was too much to do when you worked, then you wouldn't go to the gym so often. But Rio de Janeiro is a very fortunate place to be, to actually, there's an academy nearby anywhere you go. So, yeah. Enzo opened up a gym near us, and then, unfortunate for us and good for him, he moved to New York. And then I started training with Alexandre Pfeiffer.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I met, because I already met Gigi when he trained with Jacaré in Ipanema, but he opened an academy in Leblon where I used to live. And I trained there with him for years. We're very, very good friends today.
And that's where you train now in Brazil?
That's where I train when I go to Rio. Yeah, I train with Alexandre Pfeiffer. I visit my friends in other gyms, obviously, but my main training place today in Rio, yeah, it's Alliance Rio. It's a very, because I come from the very beginning of all this, I know most of the instructors are pretty much can train. You know, we can pretty much go anywhere we want. We know everybody. But I go to the Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Rio.